Aloha, I'm Ronnie Tsunami, the Tiki Techie, and welcome to the Kiss of Tech. I work with a lot of mobile technologies, mobile websites, mobile wireless service, and smartphones. And anytime I work with people with their smartphones and choosing the right one for them, they ask me what's GSM versus CDMA and really which one is better for them. And it really depends on their needs. So I'm going to break it down for you right here and try to keep it simple. So first, what the hell is GSM and CDMA? GSM and CDMA are two standards for the way cell phones communicate, the way they send information and receive. So every cell phone, at least most cell phones in the world, are either GSM phones or CDMA phones. CDMA stands for Code Division Multiple Access versus GSM, which stands for Global Systems for Mobiles. Don't have to worry about the acronyms because I'm going to break it down for you of what they really do and what they really mean. So first off, let's start with CDMA. CDMA is the most popular standard in the US. So 5 of the top 7 carriers, for instance, use CDMA. So maybe this speaks to you. Are you Verizon? Are you with US Cellular? Are you with Sprint? Maybe Cricket, Metro PCS, and even prepaid phones like Boost or Virgin Mobile. Those are all CDMA compliant. They're using that standard for communicating back and forth. So what I like about CDMA phones is that they're fast. CDMA phones like from Verizon are extremely fast, great for anyone that hogs up data. If you happen to be one that surfs the web a lot, downloads videos or streams videos, then Verizon is actually the fastest of all the carriers out there, and it's CDMA based. Now, one of the catches with a CDMA phone is that it's carrier based. What that means is if you have a phone from Verizon, technically speaking, you cannot take that phone from Verizon and have it set up on Sprint. Even though they're both CDMA compliant, they both technically communicate and receive information the same way, the carriers are allowed to lock down the phones. So they are carrier specific or carrier dependent for those phones. So hence there's a lot of squabbles out there and people complaining because they can't just take a phone from one carrier to the next, even if it's CDMA based. Now, the flip side from CDMA is GSM. GSM again being the global systems for mobiles. GSM is used by T-Mobile and AT&T. So if I have a GSM phone like this, the benefit to having a GSM phone, one of the benefits is the fact that unlike CDMA phones, GSM phones have what we call a SIM card. You can see that sticking out here. I've opened the cover of this. I can take this out, and what I'm holding up is a SIM card, which is a subscriber identity module. A subscriber identity module SIM card allows me to store my contacts, my MP3s, my movies, my pictures, and so I'm able to take a phone, take out my SIM card, and get another GSM phone and plop it right in. And not only that, unlike CDMA phones, I can, if this is a T-Mobile phone here, I can get an AT&T phone, take out their SIM card, put my SIM card from T-Mobile into my AT&T phone, and talk on my T-Mobile network. So it's what we call carrier independent. Now, everyone in the world loves that. Everyone other than the US. In fact, in the world, 75% of the world uses GSM as their standard. Europe adopted GSM way back, right after the US had adopted, or many of the first carriers had already installed CDMA networks. Europe turned around and said, no, we want it to be independent. So they adopted the GSM standard, and the US, Verizon, and Sprint had already invested all this money in the CDMA network, so they didn't bother switching over to the GSM. Hence, we got two separate networks that we're dealing with. Now, the other beauty of this is that having a SIM card is that I can go to another country when I travel. So if you are a frequent traveler internationally, GSM phones are great because I can go to a country like China or Europe, anywhere in Europe. I can take my phone, I can take my SIM card out, buy another SIM card from a carrier in that country, plop it into my phone, use my hardware, and start talking. So the benefit there is that I'm more flexible in traveling with a GSM phone. So we always recommend that. Now the iPhone 5s that are coming out apparently are quad brand. So what that means simply is that you should be able to use those both internationally with GSM or a CDMA network. So that's the benefit of those newer phones coming out. But for the majority of phones right now, again, CDMA phones do not work on GSM networks, and GSM phones do not work on CDMA networks. Now, another benefit I would see for a GSM phone, and this is personal to me, is because I am a geek and I love new phones. So every time a new phone comes out, I'm buying it. I have literally 4, 5, 6, 7 phones that I can choose from depending on what I want to test out. And having a GSM version of that phone makes it easier to swap my information and put it into that new phone. So I personally, if I had to make a choice, go with a GSM phone. Now, those are my tips for GSM versus CDMA. If you want more information, you want to send me a question, just send it to Ronnie at kissoftech.com or go to my website, kissoftech.com. You can submit a question there and look up our schedule for seminars, because I do seminars all around the country, and maybe we have one near you that you want to check out. It's always a good time. As we say, we throw an island party mixed in with technology, because that's how I roll, island style Hawaiian. So hopefully I see you there. As we say back home, aloha.